Good afternoon and welcome back. Our next session, Salzburg Global Seminar presents Suno Sunao, the digital bridge to literacy and development. We welcome our guest, Aparna Singh, Tech for Good Impact Professional Senior Manager at Arthan, a social enterprise that aims to convert the human capital landscape in a socially impacted sector of India by providing students from underprivileged communities with skills that prepare them for the future of work. Aishwarya Panicker, Technical Specialist Nutrition Programs Asia for Vitamin Angels USA, is a technical specialist working so that everyone gets an equal chance and pay at a healthy life. She was also a Salzburg Global Fellow in 2022. Aishwarya Raman is an entrepreneur and researcher who co-founded one of India's largest and earliest book and auto services, Auto Raja. She is also a Salzburg Global Fellow and the Executive Director of the OMI Foundation, a new age social innovation think tank. Mohit Challa is a Salzburg Global Fellow with a strong engineering and business foundation. He works as a data scientist at JERA, a venture in the electric utility industry. I now request them to begin the conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you
Risha.
so much. And a very good afternoon to all our esteemed guests and audience here today. As introduced, we are the team at Suno Sunao, and we met as part of the Salzburg Global Fellowship. That's where our journey began. I'll hand it over to Aparna for a couple of lines before we show our video. Over to you,
Thank you,
Aparna.
Aishwarya. Thanks a lot to Pune International Literacy for giving us this platform and Salzburg Global Fellows seminar to facilitate this. And we are here to talk about a very crucial problem and how a digital solution can help solve it. The problem of people about who are not able to read and write. And I'll let Aishwarya begin the session. And I really hope at the end we get to know and interact with each other more. And have any questions, we're here to answer.
Yeah, just to add to Aparna's point, we are available here. If anyone has any comments or would like to ask us any questions, please add them to the comment box and we'll reply as soon as possible. I'll request the team to showcase our pre-recorded video.
Global Fellow. It's a privilege to be representing the Japan-India Transformative Technology Network, supported by Salzburg Global Seminar and the Nippon Foundation at Hello, everyone. I'm Aishwarya Raman, Executive Director, OMI Foundation and Salzburg Global Fellow. It's a privilege to be representing the Japan-India Transformative Technology Network, supported by Salzburg Global Seminar and the Nippon Foundation at the Pune International Literary Festival. In addition to my role at OMI Foundation, I'm a member of Global Futures Council of the World Economic Forum, an advisor to the Global Partnership for Informal Transportation, member and task force convener of the National Committees on Industrial Relations and Skill Development and Entrepreneurship at the Confederation of Indian Industries, among others. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you to the virtual session at the 10th Pune International Literary Festival. The panelists and I are grateful to the organizers for this opportunity. I'm thrilled to be moderating today's session titled Suno Sunao, the digital bridge to literacy and development. The ubiquity of smartphones and availability of affordable data have ushered in the fourth industrial revolution, as we all know, truly transforming how we learn, work, move, and live. The digital has indeed permeated all aspects of lives. Technology empowers us to access information, pursue education, grab economic opportunities, and live fulfilling lives. At the same time, socioeconomic circumstances affect the degree of digital penetration across communities. Such inequity is visible in the manner in which vulnerable groups have or lack access to smartphones or the internet and miss out on resulting opportunities. Women, for instance, have traditionally experienced inequity in accessing education, or for that matter, assets like smartphones and the internet. Women usually share smartphones with other family members. Women have lower educational outcomes, and their participation in the labor force is abysmally low. Likewise, many men, LGBTQI+, and the elderly have low levels of literacy, preventing them from accessing opportunities or achieving their full potential. Set against this backdrop are various initiatives around the world which leverage 21st century approaches to address historical and modern day problems. The power of set against this backdrop are various initiatives around the world which leverage 21st century approaches to addressing historical and modern day problems. The power of big data and artificial intelligence gains significance in the times we live in, where such levers can be harnessed to create large-scale social impact. One such initiative is Suno Sunao, which is Hindi for hear and be heard. We have with us the founders and partners of this initiative. I'm also one among them, if I may add. At this juncture, let me introduce our esteemed panelists and introduce the program that has brought all of us together. First is Aparna Singh. Aparna is a tech for good impact professional with 9 years of experience, currently working towards building a platform to unlock human capital for social impact in India and Asia with Arthan. In her last role with Yale Evidence for policy design, she has led the India team launching and scaling up a web mobile tool for the world's largest social reform program, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Generation in India, prior to which she has been the product and training manager for Hak Darshak Empowerment Solution and the technology manager for Save Life Foundation. Before venturing into the impact space, she has spent a considerable number of years working for Wipro and HCL Technologies. Aparna is interested in discovering and exploring ideas, thought processes, and technical solutions to bridge the gap to eliminate poverty. Welcome, Aparna.
Thank you.
Next, we have Aishwarya Panicker. Aishwarya is currently a technical specialist nutrition programs Asia for Vitamin Angels USA. In this capacity, she oversees projects on maternal nutrition with a focus on potential new policies to alleviate nutritional deficiencies. She's a Master of Science in Global Politics from the London School of Economics and Political Science and a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology from Lady Shri Ram College. She's a member of the International Sociological Association, the Menstrual Hygiene Alliance of India, a Salzburg Global Fellow, and has over 9 years of experience with research methods, project management, and stakeholder engagement building, and so on. Her areas of interest include utilizing mixed methods research in the context of improving maternal, neonatal, child, and adolescent health system strengthening, and state capacity. Another founder of Suno Sunao is also Mohit Challa. While Mohit's not on this panel at the moment, a brief intro about Mohit. Mohit is a data scientist based in Japan since 2015. At present, he's developing an AI platform for JERA, Japan's largest energy producing company. What has brought all of us together for Suno Sunao is the Salzburg Global Seminar, the Nippon Foundation, and their joint initiative named Japan-India Transformative Technology Network. This network has brought myself, Aishwarya, and Aishwarya Panicker, Aparna, and Mohit together. Salzburg Global Seminar is an independent nonprofit organization founded in 1947 with a mission to challenge current and future leaders to shape a better world. In 2020, Salzburg Global Seminar and the Nippon Foundation launched the Japan-India Transformative Technology Network to connect and empower a critical mass of outstanding change makers in two of Asia's largest democracies, India and Japan. The network connects tech entrepreneurs from India and Japan to foster collaborations and surface creative ideas to use tech and artificial intelligence as a force for good, solving some of the most pressing challenges of today: mobility, equity, access, and economic development. On that note, let's kick off this dialogue. We are here to see how an AI initiative, Suno Sunao, can become a digital bridge to literacy and development. I'll start with you, Aishwarya. What problem is Suno Sunao aiming to solve? And why do you think India needs an intervention like Suno Sunao?
Thank you, Aishwarya, and thank you to the audience for joining us today. I wanted to take you all through a particular case to give a bit of context in terms of the problem statement and the problem we're trying to solve, based on our interactions with this particular target group in our professional and personal lives. So Sumati, who is our main protagonist for today, has recently migrated to the city of New Delhi from a rural town in Uttar Pradesh. She's young, she's married, she lives with her husband and two kids, and is actively looking for information through her neighbors for jobs, basic healthcare, and so on. She is keen to learn new skills, but doesn't really know where to go for this type of information. She does have access to a smartphone that her husband owns, but since she cannot read, she uses it for voice or video calls for about an hour a day. Sumati is not alone. There are millions like her who are currently not being targeted through easy-to-use existing mobile platforms, primarily due to their inability to read or write, or existing video platforms themselves prioritize certain languages or are entertainment-focused, for example. This particular target group faces a lack of access to accurate information and has a huge unmet need because of this. Additionally, there are a variety of social, cultural, financial barriers, Aishwarya, that you've mentioned initially, that women like Sumati must face. And from having to borrow phones from their male counterparts, or even lack of finances to get internet if they do manage to get a phone. We do see evidence backing this. The National Commission on Population predicts that in the next 15 years, about 38.6% of Indians will live in urban areas. That's about 600 million people here. We have seen rapid migration and urbanization bring with it a lot of opportunities as well as challenges, particularly for women. Informal settlements or slums are frequently characterized by unplanned public services, populations uncounted by official census, and also low outreach for information or peer-to-peer networks. This information asymmetry, particularly in this scenario, becomes a really huge hurdle for women who make up a large group across the digital divide. Lack of education, of course, worsens this situation. With the growth of India's smartphone users to almost 173 million in 2021, one of the most striking aspects of this is the extent to which this digital divide imposes itself on women, particularly. We do see women owning, mobiles slightly less than men in this country, because of this, they do suffer from a lack of access and awareness across sectors, whether it's in the field of finance, healthcare, skilling, and so on. Not having access to a smartphone, being monitored by male members of the family, or even not having access to information that can guide them to government schemes that are available, does impact the chances of women availing certain services. We want to build on the opportunity of bridging this digital divide, particularly the information and literacy gap, to encourage social and financial mobility for underserved women in urban areas. Additionally, the goal is to enhance informed decision-making, where women not only receive information relevant to their needs, but also acts as a safe space where they can share their narratives, discover peers in the area. We aim to reach the underserved women, especially in urban areas, through this platform where video becomes the primary service of engagement. We do have a short video that we'd like to play to really show what this platform aims to do. Just give me a moment. Is the video visible?
Yeah, it is.
No audio though.
Audio is not there. Yeah.
Is the audio not audible? Second.
Do we pause the recording?
Sumathi has recently moved to metropolitan New Delhi from a rural area. At 24, she's married and lives with her husband and 2 school-going children. She wants to apply her cooking skills to become financially independent and support her family. She is keen to learn new skills but doesn't know where to go for this type of information. She has access to a smartphone, but since she cannot read or type, she uses it every day for voice or video calls only. Sumathi is not alone. There are 313 million Indians who cannot read or write, of which 59% are women. What if they have a friend who listens and suggests the right information through an accessible platform to answer whatever questions they have? What if technology could also break the barriers of language and literacy? This is where Suno Sunao comes in. Suno Sunao is an ally providing authentic and curated information catering to women. Users ask questions through audio messages, and our chatbot responds to queries with audio and video content. Here's our solution in action. User sends a message to the WhatsApp chatbot number. User immediately receives a video explaining how to use the bot. User records the audio and sends their question. The chatbot powered by Google ASR understands the voice, matches the content from a curated database consisting of hand-picked resources, and responds to the user. Users receive the information in their preferred language. The user can delete their conversation, ensuring a safe and private space. They can come back for more information at any time. In this manner, Suno Sunao harnesses the power of AI to transform lives in low-income communities. In a world teeming with information, people like Sumathi should also find it easy to access opportunities to change their lives.
Back to you, Aishwarya.
Thanks so much, Aishwarya. The video, of course, is something that we worked on, but so many more questions, right? Building on what we just saw, I'll turn to Aparna to tell us more about Suno Sunao. We know how it could help somebody like Sumathi and so many millions of individuals like Sumathi. But how exactly, in your opinion, Aparna, is Suno Sunao bridging this digital divide and in a way becoming the digital bridge to literacy and development? How exactly does Suno Sunao help the target audience we have in mind? Over to you, Aparna.
Thank you, Aishwarya. And I'll just continue to what Aishwarya was talking about, the problems faced by Sumathi in today's world. And I would add and what we saw in the video, like a journey of Sumathi, and also got an insight of what Suno Sunao is through the video. I'll just add like how this whole problem was amplified, or I would say like I think the problem took a leapfrog moment during COVID. Like we all know like how we were trapped all inside the house, and somehow we shared a lot of our lives then with our house helps. And that was a time we realized like how COVID has like, though our work didn't stop, our lives didn't stop, we all got into the online mode, we were into Zooms, like how we are right now, and talking, discussing work, getting our work done and everything. But at the same time, the whole segment, and at least through the household lenses, what we saw, there was a segment of population which was paralyzed in terms of not able to take or use the digital interventions. Even at times when the world came with vaccinations and India went on to create all digital appointments, and we all were like so privileged and so lucky to get the appointment and get ourselves vaccinated and safe. That population was not able to use those digital intervention because their limited ability to read and write, and also B, their limited ability to use any digital intervention, be it internet or be it mobile application. It is very one thing to use, YouTube and see videos and send audio message on WhatsApp, because these two are very intuitive and very A to B kind of steps kind of platforms. But the other platforms are not, and which requires certain ability since a conditioning to use it. And that intuitiveness that we come, like we open the any app, whether it was like any vaccination platform or IRCTC, for example, in India, which used to book railways, we just know what to do because we can see, we also have our intuitiveness of the user journey. But that segment cannot use. And it was a time when we realized like how dependent they were on us to, book vaccination appointments, not for just themselves, for the extended families. I mean, we all have done that. I mean, both of you have done, I have done that. And it also made us realize like, okay, and there was an experience like when I was thinking, the cook, she said like, Didi, how जैसे आप भेजते हो audio पे WhatsApp पे खाने का video, इसका भी video भेज देना. That was the moment, like it was a very doubt. It was a moment, I don't know how to describe that, but something like, why can't we use tech to, the same way to enable their lives in a better way? And I think that's how, and that was also time the Japan India tech network, the virtual was happening. I mean, it was supposed to be done in 2019 in person, and COVID made us all virtual, and that was the time we were connecting. And I remember like in one of the challenge session as part of the fellowship, we discussed this and like, why can't we bring a solution around it? And it's so aligned, the timing aligned with challenge hosted by Nippon Foundation and Salzburg Global Seminar. And we came, and at the time, the Suno Sunao concept was like, how do we use an existing platform to make the information break the information asymmetry around it? How do we use a basic so that we don't have to recreate anything? We don't have to invest lots of money because we can't take a hit on financial implication. We can't be using a large, heavy-ended tech from scratch. So why not use the existing? And that was when we got a very efficient tech partner, Glyphic, which I'll say, I'll give a speak on Glyphic later on. But what happened was like, we thought like, okay, they use WhatsApp and they are very, they know to send audio. That's something most of the population, even though with the limited ability to read or write or with limited disability, is able to do it. So why not use the same? And we have this Google algorithm which does all the transcript part. Like we are not doing the translation because of course in India, when we speak about India, the language changes or the dialect changes every 5 kilometers. So we cannot do the translation on that basis. But yes, Google has done that for us. So let's take the Google route and take the Google algorithm, which does the translation for be it Hindi. Right now, Suno Sunao is in Hindi. Hopefully, we will do it in all languages in India. But and any person who will send an audio message on WhatsApp, because they already know, that will be integrated behind the scene into Google algorithm, which converts speech to text first, and that text will be translated in behind into different using different natural language processing, and basis that and video will search the video which is close nearest to the query being asked, and that video will be the verified video. We're not going to bombard the user with multiple videos. A very simple video which will answer the question to the user, and that video will be sent as an answer. And of course, we are going to take feedback on the users through different emojis, so that is not complicated. And in the process, we also continue to make it better. So that's the tech platform we built on the existing tech platform, that was WhatsApp, and using the Google algorithm. And we really hope and at the same time, we also know Suno Sunao can be a tool or a bridge which can bring which can be a bridge not just to break this information asymmetry and to train people or different using different digital intervention, but can also be capitalized to bring so many behavioral changes. I mean, when we talk about when we all, I think Aishwarya will speak later upon how we interacted with the community. One thing was how people are hesitant in asking questions. Even our own households were hesitant in asking us, will you help us in vaccination, or is there any problem? Can you help us with that? it will also help break their hesitation, which is important, because when you're talking about, like, when we just speak about women with limited ability to read or write, or limited intervention ability, they are like almost 185 million population of the whole India. And that's like we're talking, when we speak about the larger population which cannot read and write, it's almost like 600 million. And that's like almost 10 to 20% of India population. And that population needs to be brought up. Like we are talking about, like, creating all the metaverse of like the virtual airports where we can have our own avatars, interacting, doing everything that we want to do, our physical version to do. And there's this population which cannot be even access the basics of information because they're of their inabilities. And how I feel like what we have created is this tool, Suno Sunao, can help bring that population on as an active part of the economy. As India moves on, like it's like how it is important for India, because as India moves on about become the 5 trillion economy, this population also needs to play an active role. And how will they play the active role if they don't have the basics of information, or the even basic ability to access those information? Because information is there. So whether it's healthcare, whether it's financial, or whether it's livelihood, the very basic I should be aware enough to access that information. And Suno Sunao aims to do that. And thanks to Japan India Tech Network, Salzburg Global Seminar, and Nippon Foundation, that we all got a part, and they supported us to bring this idea into a reality. So yeah, that is what Suno Sunao aims to do. And thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Aparna. In fact, we're going to stay on you for a few more minutes to understand, in your opinion, how is India harnessing the power of technology in general and artificial intelligence in particular to head towards human-led development? So if you have any more examples on how this is happening across the country, or how technology in general is being leveraged. You also brought up our partner here, Glyphic. And if you can tell us a little about what they do, that would be excellent for us. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Like I would, like, as you said, like how tech is, in bringing that change, or what's the role tech is playing, and how AI is also playing this role. Let's start with Glyphic. Glyphic is a 100% open source, two-way communication channel built on WhatsApp, and it helps like more than half of the nonprofits in India to reach out to the beneficiaries, to the communities. So here on, I'll just add like the role of technology. The role of technology is not to give us the solution what we're aiming for. Like if we aim to I'll give a use case, like what do we want when we want a person to have information on, for example, maternal health, or for on reproductive health. What do we want? We want the person to take action, right? If I know like this is a medicine I need to be taken when I'm pregnant, or during my periods, this is what it will help me reduce a menstrual cramp. What we'll do is like we want the person to take that step eventually, and the outcome should be like a healthy individual and the reduced pain. That's something we want to do. That tech cannot do. Tech can give you the information as it does to all of us. Like it gives us like the flight bookings, but we have to do that, take that action. So information is not the end thing. And at the same time, when we speak about tech, we give too much of pressure on tech. Actually, we need to understand it's not a zero-sum game wherein we get an answer immediately and everything is finishes over there. It's not that. So tech is the differentiating factor when we speak about the general phase where we impact with low-income households. Is a differentiating factor. It is a binding dot. It is a binding sentence between different dots over there, like where we need community to come together. We need government support. We need private. We need public support. We need philanthropies to come together. And for example, from Suno Sunao, what I'll share is like we all know, like when we went to the community, we had we came across a very brilliant girl who was just out of 12th standard, and she became our community person to engage with the community further, like training them on Suno Sunao WhatsApp tool. Does not end the journey over there. They need to continuously be asking questions, and that will only happen when there is a trust. And trust comes when there's a person on their own community comes and tell them to use it. And then there's another journey to track the process, however is doing, and then again going back to the community and asking them to use it and take action. And when it comes to take action, whereas suppose they get to know about a livelihood scheme, that point of time government needs to give them the application support. So it's like there's so many different, like take it as a puzzle, there's different pieces, you need to put it together, and tech is a centerpiece, just that. And similarly with artificial intelligence, we speak about lot about artificial intelligence and think like it can solve. So we need to understand like AI, artificial intelligence overall is a strategy. When we break it down, like at the organization when I was working at Hagdarshak, we digitize all the public and welfare schemes. And what happens, like any person, even now today, in today's time, even you and I, we all three can do it, and even the audience can do it. Like you can open Hagdarshak website and go answer the questionnaire, and the schemes that we are eligible to apply will come. So if I look at what it is pattern matching, it is rule engine matching. This is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Here is X, Y, Z or something like that. And whatever matches, it gives you the result. So, I mean, when we have to understand like there's so many pattern matching, where there's so many indexing that needs to be done behind it. AI overall is a strategy, and it is a long-term game. We think that we use the word and we think that AI will like, hey, let's use AI, like, oh, what an AI and how do we do it? So we need to break down AI into what is the most relevant thing. And sometimes we don't need all the fancies of technologies. Like in case of here, like we use WhatsApp and Google, which is already existing since ages. So at least Google exists in ages, not WhatsApp, but still it is there. And we need to understand like how do we use the existing technologies and not to get too much excited about the solution, but the problem statement, and see tech as a binding factor or a differentiating factor which will break the technology, which will break the problem for us, not something which will totally solve. It will give us data, but action we have to take. We should, for example, we saw case of Suno Sunao, we saw like how many people are using it and what questions are they asking. That's like a great source of knowing, okay, how do we now approach them? And so similarly, similarly, understanding approach needs to be done, and in that fact, like tech has done a great role. If we look at our country, like we are using Paytm, we go outside, we see a Paytm sound box where people, I think that's the most innovative solution done from the most for the grassroots level, like people and people uses it, and the most uniqueness of factors like the trust it generates, because again those are the people who are not able to read or write much, and it gives them कि आपको पैसे आ गए हैं. So again,
as expected, it was an absolutely captivating session. We enjoyed this discussion thoroughly. Thank you so much, Aparna Singh, Aishwarya Panicker, and Aishwarya Raman for being PILF's guests. We thank our title sponsor, Vishwakarma Publications, silver partner SBI, bronze partner Bajaj Allianz, and our bookstore partner Crossword. Our next session begins at 1:30 p.m. Prison Tales and Death Rows. See you soon. Thank you.